You're listening to the Money Mike Syndicated Radio Podcast, and we're going to kick off another day. It's a beautiful day. We're going to start you on our way. We got Erica Baidu instrumental that's just kicking off, and I love it every time I play it. But today we got something that's going to get a little interesting. As you know, there were some things happening in NFL, and one especially, as you know, Money Mike, we give you the picks. We're going to start on the top. The Las Vegas Raiders just flopped. And as you know, Money Mike's had a hard time finding consistency with the Raiders. And they just flopped. So we want to bring it home and try to understand and give you the breakdown, because the Raiders are a mystery. They're a mystery to me. They're a mystery to a lot of people today. And we want to bring it home so that you could clearly understand what's meaning. So again, you're listening to the Money Mike Syndicated Radio Podcast. We're going to bring it to you from the NFL. We're going to bring it to you from the Raiders press room today. And let's see if we can figure out really what's going on with the Raiders. Obviously, the Raiders have done some things that doesn't really feel consistent with their history. Obviously, you brought Josh McDaniels in from the Patriots organization. I'm a little confused. Not only did you bring Josh McDaniel in from the Patriots organization, he's bringing the second string players from the Patriots organization. And what's happening is the Raiders are getting third string results out of the second string Patriots players that they've brought over. And head coach Josh McDaniels just can't figure it out. Now, guys, I talk about, let's see if we can bring it to you uncut, what is actually being said. Because Josh McDaniels sounds beaten, sounds confused in the players' eyes. I see the players are confused. And this is a ship that's moving in the wrong direction. And when you go out and you're coming off a performance and you get blown out by the Chicago Bears, you got to find out and say, how did this happen? And as I listen to Josh, and I want you to listen to Josh, and I want to break down, Josh, what are you saying? And you're going to hear me say, salute to Lowell Kahn, because that is the GOAT of NFL reporting in my eye. I had an opportunity to briefly work with him, and sometimes you got to find the story and you got to get to the tough question, because I really don't understand what Josh McDaniels is saying, and he keeps using the word improve. And you're in week 7. You've went through a full training camp. You've aligned. You've made your 53. You can't be in week 7 talking about we need to improve. So take a listen, and I just want to break this down because I'm confused on what he's actually saying.
Coached, we got to coach better, play better, compete better. There's a lot we can do better. I know our team's better than that, but we certainly didn't put it out there on the field yesterday. So we got a lot to improve on, and that's what we're going to do today.
Is there anything that you saw in practice that made you feel like
Nothing?
That bad performance?
Nothing. And honestly, Q, I felt like we had a good week. I thought we were ready to go. Went out there and had the 3 and out, and then drive the ball down the field and have a chance to, take the lead early. And I didn't see anything like that, and we went on Friday and all that stuff, but there's none of that stuff's an excuse. I think just ultimately the game kind of snowballed on us, and as I said yesterday, when you lose control of kind of the line of scrimmage / the score, then, the game always feels like you're playing it backwards or you're chasing.
So Josh McDaniels is literally saying we didn't see any of this in practice. We didn't see this coming, okay? And again, Money Mike, we look at the trainers. We look at the handicapping horses, handicapping football. Who are the trainers? And what are the trainers doing throughout the week to get the horse ready, to actually get him in the right pace? He's basically saying he didn't see it. I don't understand how you can be in week 7. You're an NFL head coach, and you're telling me that your didn't see your players having this type of performance. Now, that if we go behind it, that tells me that all along throughout this interview, this post-game press conference with the Bears, he's never taken any accountability. He's only putting it off on the players. Okay, and he'll sprinkle in, we need to coach, but he's not saying, I wasn't prepared. Because in the NFL, you send those players out with a game plan. And those players are going to go out there and execute the game plan that you have put in. Now, the concern that Money Mike has is, McDaniels, this is your plan. McDaniels, you were brought to the Raiders for offense. You were brought here and you brought the coaches in that you feel confident can get the job done. You can't be in week 7 saying we need to improve, because these are professionals. These are not players that are coming off of a Division III, Division II, Division I. These are the best at their positions for the last 5 or 10 years who are playing in the NFL. And you're lost on whether or not a performance that came out of your players. And this is what I'll tell you. The Bill Belichick coaching tree is not a successful coaching tree. And I have had friends, college friends, Chico State, we've argued this point, and it just doesn't make sense of why the Raiders, Mark Davis, would bring in the Patriots, who the coaching tree of the Patriots has not been successful. The only thing the Patriots coaching tree is good at is recycling back to the Patriots. And Bill gives them a job. That's the only thing I see. So as I continue to listen, and I want you to listen what he's saying, he's not telling us anything except I don't know how to figure it out. And until he comes to grips with that, or Mark Davis comes to grips with that, they're going to be in this turmoil for a long period of time, except the Oakland Raiders, the fan base of the Raiders, the fan base of the Raiders and the Raiders Nation. This is unacceptable. So just listen to what Mark Daniels is saying, and he's not saying anything. So I'm just really confused here.
Yesterday felt like.
What did you see from the team maybe after the game, just in terms of their reaction to how it went?
I mean, everybody, we all know that wasn't good enough. I didn't see anything different than what I've seen from them before. I think they're, when you get your butt kicked in the NFL, it doesn't feel good. But I know we have great leadership and great character and great resolve. And look, we have no choice. That's what you do, in this league. This is a hard league, and you're going to go through games, throughout the course of the season that don't taste good. And so yesterday left a terrible taste in all of our mouths. And the way to fix it is to work, and to go back to work and address the things that we need to do better.
So this is his statement. This is coming from the Raiders post-game press conference. Chicago Bears loss. I hear a coach that's defeated. I hear a coach that doesn't know how to get it done. And don't get me wrong, McDaniels is an excellent coach in the NFL. The only difference, and if you want to go behind the scenes, let me give it to you uncut, is the fact that as an offensive coordinator, tremendous coach. As a head coach, as a CEO, as the leader of men, as those men who are playing for you are going to watch this press conference and you're continuously saying improve, 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 you're going to be at week 12 and you're going to be still asking for improvement and the season's going to be gone. This doesn't make any sense as to what he's trying to say and accountability that we're trying to improve. And folks, I told you something a long time ago and I let you in on a secret. Offenses don't improve, defenses do. And obviously McDaniels is not clued in on the defense. And these guys, I can tell you another secret about championship football. When you see guys don't finish the play on defense, when you see guys don't get to the football on defense, when you see guys not selling out for one another and making downfield blocks, you look at the Raiders play football, And they are not finishing plays. They are not selling out. They're not getting to the football. Okay? And Devonte Adams, who is a tremendous figure in that locker room, you brought him in to be. And McDaniels, what you have done is you have taken the biggest figure in your locker room, and he is literally saying to us in parables, as long as I'm here, meaning I can leave tomorrow if you can work it out. That's not going to fly because he has connection with other players. We get together, we have dinner, we talk, and if the number one biggest figure in my locker room is not happy, pretty soon you're going to see the leakage of the other players who are not happy. And McDaniels is acting like this is a normal day at the office. So basically, you've lost some players in that locker room who are the Raiders, who know this is not a long term. They're looking at you as not being long term. So this is where you're at today. And obviously, Mark Davis doesn't want to pull the plug because obviously NFL coaches, folks, let's be honest. The number of fired NFL coaches still getting paid by the NFL today is absolutely ridiculous. Okay, that's just unheard of, the amount. You're going to get up to $1 billion of guys who have not even coached and the teams are playing. But staying in it, let's hear Mark McDaniels. I don't get it. I'm lost with him, Josh. I'm lost.
How close, I guess, was Jimmy throughout the week? And you expect
That's a medical thing, Adam. Honestly, I wouldn't be able to put a percentage on that. I know he's doing fine, doing well, but that's something that they'll let us know exactly when when we're able to turn the corner. I'm hoping for this week, but I don't have clarification on that yet.
Execution and penalties plays a big role in the offense, but does it feel like it just never has gotten started like it should with all the weapons that you guys have?
Yeah, Q, you're hitting it on the head. It's not one thing. We move the ball, and then we get bogged down with something, either miss a third and short or there's a penalty here or there. Yesterday, we had a couple penalties and just didn't do very well on third down for the first two and a half, 3 quarters of the game. And there's a lot of little things that go into those plays. A football game can be changed by the execution of 4 or 5 different plays. Pick any 4 or 5 different plays, and you say, man, if we would have made this, if we would have made that. But at the end of the day, you did what you did,
You did what you did. You did what you did, folks. I'm going to take you there. When you as a head coach say you did what you did, that's putting it back on the players. And not once have I heard McDaniels come out and say, I screwed up. I put the players in the wrong game plan. I put them in the wrong scheme. We didn't get it right as coaches. That's when men are willing. Bill Parcells, if he screwed up, I screwed it up. Okay? You got to take the accountability. Bill Walsh, to me, 49ers' greatest head coach, felt the pressure when he screwed up. Okay? At some point, Josh McDaniels has got to accept the fact he screwed up. And don't get me wrong, he's done this before. And as you listen to him talk to Jimmy G, and we know Jimmy G doesn't talk. Okay, you give him a contract, he comes and plays, but his life is his life. And that's how he worked with the 49ers. We signed him to a big contract, and after that, there were silence points. So you don't know what's going on. You're confused, but you're putting it on the players. At some point, the players want you to be a man, and they've got to trust you to take that field and go play for you. And when they trust you, they'll go through the wall, and you'll have every single player selling out on every play. But if they've seen you've done something wrong, and hey, folks, I'll be honest with you. I don't flat out get how do you utilize Derek Carr to recruit the biggest figure that's going to be in your locker room. There's just no way that you can recruit and pay a wide receiver that much money, have him come out and buy a house right next to Carr. Okay, they got strategy, and all of a sudden you're not re-signing Carr. And he just left the best quarterback to ever play this game in Aaron Rodgers. And now you put him with this? So he's considering it, and I'm not in that locker room. I don't know what Devonte Adams is thinking, but I can tell you something that I know is serious and I know it's important. You don't take somebody's college friend, who I met with my friends of 40 years, okay, and I'll get me recruited to your organization, and then you don't sign the player and leave me with this. And you're expecting me to do what, McDaniels? Well, those other players are aware of that, and they know the history, okay? Public figure McDaniels is. But we also know he took a job in the NFL and had all the NFL coaches, his whole entire staff he picked, get signed, get contracts, and he decided not to take the job. I think the Raiders' uncut truth there is there's a trust factor somewhere lost. There's a disconnect, and I can't get McDaniels to tell the truth. So, folks, I'm just cutting it to you. I'm going to stay with this. This is something that I don't understand, but I'm going to find out what's behind it because there's some uncut truth here. And we've got to dig a little deeper. And again, salute to Lowell Kahn. To me, that's the GOAT of NFL reporting. There's nobody ever seen go head-to-head with Jim Harbaugh. Didn't matter who it was. Didn't matter who came in the building. If you didn't say something that made sense, he's going to figure it out. And he told me, if you don't know the story, find it. Well, there's a story in the Raiders, and we got to figure out what that is. So you're listening to the Money Mike Syndicated Radio Podcast. We'll be back, and we're going to continue the secret truth behind Josh McDaniels and the Oakland, God, I done it again, the Las Vegas Raiders.